Well, we got Louie B on the line, so I guess I should bring him on. But, I don't want to keep him waiting, cause especially since I'm just kind of like killing time right now. So, okay, hey, how you doing, Louie B? Welcome aboard.
How you doing? I actually heard tell that you wanted to speak to me ever since my first triumphant appearance on your show.
Well, I actually was able to...
I'm sorry. I'm on the subway, so... I'm out on the field right now. I'm doing secret squirrel Zionist stuff.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Secret squirrel Zionist stuff?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Are you pushing Negroes into the subway checks?
No, that's for Thursdays. That's push people in the tracks Thursdays. That's part of that's a Jewish conspiracy to raise the train fares on the stupid goyim. and you know what? And I dare one of you Christian identity to fucking start saying, "Oh, Louie's a influence these designers." He admitted it on the news guy show. I'm being sarcastic. Anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I get this information about you and this war that you had with this other guy, because you did explain it on Facebook there a while back.
Yeah.
So that's why I didn't bother to ask you to come on. But I guess if you want to explain to your audience, now there was this. I guess you could say he's a conservative blogger, if you want to say it like that. Seems to be
He's whatever gets him listeners. He's a flip flopper. You know, first he's like, well, I guess genetically speaking, he's a Jew.
Oh.
But yeah, he has a picture of him wearing the Star of David. He was born a Jew. That's neither here or there in my book. He's
right.
An asshole because he's insane. He was introduced to me because I tried to start my own Spanish language 9/11 Truth group.
Uh-huh.
And someone said, "Oh, this guy can help you get the word out." And this was before I really started my own radio show.
Uh-huh.
So, I met Jim Stachowiak. I did production for his show. I would do little skits for his show because I'm very talented like that, if I mind saying so myself.
Uh-huh.
And then he started telling me about this lady named Chrissy Tchaikovsky. And he's like, "Oh yeah, she's trying to have people killed. She hates 9/11 truthers. She hates We Are Change." And at the time, I was, this is before, the assholes started revealing themselves within We Are Change. So I'm still new in the 9/11 truth movement, and I'm like, yeah, dude, this is fucked up. We Are Change is the best group ever. We're doing some actual good. I was really overzealous about it.
Right.
So I decided to call up Truth Brigade Radio and find out what the fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Needless to say, Christy shut me down.
Oh.
And then I realized, crap, there's really nothing wrong with her.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said, you know what, I'm not going to get in the middle. It seems like a beef between a man and a woman,
Mm-hmm.
Like apparently Jim tried to fornicate with Christy, and Christy shut him down. So apparently his blue balls got him nuts, and all of a sudden now she's a Nazi. She's trying to have the Georgia State militia, members of the Georgia State militia murdered, which Jim is the only member of the Georgia State militia.
Okay.
So Jim is a dummy of one. But that's not how the feud between me and him started. Me and another lady were regulars on his show. This lady lives in San Bernardino, lived in San Bernardino. She says, look, there's National Guardsmen. I mean, they're not in uniform and they're not carrying rifles. They're in sweats, putting up sandbags because at the time there was some heavy flooding going on there. So they were just there. What Jim suggested was to get a gun and start shooting at National Guardsmen.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Shooting at the National Guard.
Yeah. So basically, she goes, no, they're not doing anything wrong. They're there constitutionally under the invitation of the governor to help out, which is on the up and up. If the state governor requires help from the National Guard, who the hell is calling me while I'm on the radio? Don't they know I'm on? Oh. All right, I'll call them back. I don't care. So she's like, look, the best I can do is keep an eye on them. I'll put a camera on them. I'll film them. What else can she do? What, she's going to start a war by herself? She's a woman.
Right.
And side note, Jim likes to ask people to do things that his punk ass wouldn't do himself.
Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah.
So, I mean, if everyone's keeping score, if everyone knows the real definition of COINTELPRO is a person that tries to get you to do something illegal. Jim was trying to get her to do something illegal. Okay. I don't know if he's COINTELPRO. I don't have the knock list. I don't know if he's on the government payroll. I don't know. All I know is what I can prove, and what I can prove is he's a psychopath asshole.
Right.
And basically, that's my whole philosophy. I don't like to accuse people of being COINTELPRO because how the fuck am I supposed to know?
Right.
Like, really.
He could just be a nutcase,
Yeah. Exactly. Please rise for the Brooklyn National Anthem. Anyways, so I jump in because when I'm friends with somebody, I go at it 100%. I got your back, no matter what. Right. So I go, Jim, what do you expect her to do? You can't be asking her to start a war. I mean, if they're there legally, I mean, come on. What do you expect them to? Why do you want her to do that? You won't do that. And then all of a sudden, that turned into me supporting the New World Order.
This sounds, it's like these very same patterns that you're talking about. These are patterns that I've seen in other movements around, and they're not limited to political strife. They're not limited to America. It's just the same type of things that always come up. And I'm not too sure if they really are government conspiracies. They very well could be. They could be some agent provocateur or a, as you put it, a COINTELPRO person or something like that. But I have seen like these things, continue to pop up all the time. So it is interesting.
Oh goodness, it's just, I mean, okay. Sorry, the freaking music player on my phone just started. What the fuck? All right. Okay, trying to shut down the fucking process here.
Okay, well, yeah.
Sorry. All right, there we go. Got it. All right, no, so then that started the war between me and him because then I realized, oh shit, he's insane. So, he starts calling me. He's like, oh, if you don't get on my show, if you don't do things my way, I'm going to start telling people your real name. I'm going to post your address on my site. He starts making these threats. He's like, I'm gonna have people come to your house.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, this is like the first time I've ever had to deal with a psychopath on the internet.
Right.
So, it's surprising. So the only person that I could think of who's had experience with this asshole was Christy. So I called Christy, and he's like, oh, yeah, he did the same thing to me. I told you he was going to turn on you because you did warn me.
Right.
But, me, I try to give people chances.
Right. So he's and so now he's making all these threats against you, and how do you react to that?
In the wrong way, obviously. I went Brooklyn on him. I said, look, motherfucker, if you want to do something, come to Brooklyn. We'll just fucking knuckle up like men, and we'll handle this shit. I mean,
Right.
hell, I'm a fat kid that grew up in Brooklyn. What more fucking combat training do I need? You know what I mean?
That's right. That's right. But then he didn't like that, so he started to take it over onto the internet and posting your stuff all over the place and everything like that, I guess.
Yeah. Well, no, on his site he put my picture up. He started saying, you know, that I support the murder of militia members, that I support the New World Order, you know, all this crazy shit.
Right. Meanwhile, he was the one. He was the one who said that that the people should be shot. He was the one who said that the National Guard should be shot.
Yeah, I mean, he's the one who's trying to have a woman go to war with the National Guard.
Right. Right.
I mean, I'm not trying to talk down about women. I mean, as some of you have heard my show, I've had some issues with feminism, but you know, women as a whole, they're very capable women fighters, like Gina Carino and Christy the Cyborg. I understand. MMA, you know, they could probably kick the living shit out of me, you know, but that's still, there's still a certain level, you know, I still believe going to war is a man's job.
Right. And
you know,
and especially, look, I mean, even if it was a guy, one guy cannot go to war against the National Guard. You know?
I mean, and he would still be an asshole if he asked somebody else to do something that he himself wouldn't do.
Right. And remember that guy over the winter in Los Angeles who tried to go to war against the LAPD? Look what happened to him. Yeah.
Well, look, Chris Dorner, I've read his manifesto. They totally lied about him. I know, official tangent. I do believe that he saw something messed up within the LAPD, which is not too far-fetched, seeing their track record.
Mm-hmm.
I think they did kill him under false pretenses.
Right. I'm pretty sure that they did kill him because, I mean, look, I mean, when you kill a cop, that is basically that makes it open season for the cops to kill you, and that's always been the way that it is. You know, regardless of the city you're in. I mean, in New York, Los Angeles, you know, if you kill a cop, then in the cops' minds, that means that's okay for them to kill you.
Yeah. Well, they don't even have to wait for one of their own to be killed. I mean, according to the police in that documentary, the world's largest street gang, they can freaking snuff you up if you deny them a fucking alcoholic drink if you're getting too drunk.
Wow.
I mean, they beat up that Polish woman in Chicago, you know? So it's like, you've had enough. Really?
Right.
Oh, now it's time for me to fuck you up. All right, yeah. So, I mean...
Yeah.
Like, look, I mean, I'm not saying all police officers are bad. I don't trust them. I don't trust not one of them in a fucking uniform.
Yeah.
And, I don't know.
Well, I didn't mean to get off on that tangent with it, but I want to, just to focus in on this guy who you're having this feud with, this Stachowiak guy.
No, it's not really a feud because I've sort of backed off because I've already exposed him and put it out there as much as I can. The common law court, the Committee of Safety common law court, found them guilty of slandering people.
Wow.
Slandering people, yeah. I mean, and yes, some people might say, what's the common law court? It's not a real court. Well, it's just proof that not only that people had to prove their case beyond a shadow of a doubt that if this was a real court, he would have been found guilty.
And so you actually took him to court over all of this?
No, it was someone else because he does it to a lot of people.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, he likes to slander people. His favorite targets are women. Of course, because he's a coward. He's if I wish I could play it, but he left a voicemail on my phone. But you know, he likes to prank call me. He likes to send me text messages, which I like to call them homosexual love notes, because apparently he just misses my ass, because I haven't been paying attention to him because I got a life to lead. You know, I'm doing my own thing. But yeah, he likes to send me messages and saying, and I've already put it out there. I challenged him. I said, look, Jim, I challenge you to a legally sanctioned mixed martial arts fight. We could sell tickets. We could handle this, sell tickets, and donate 100% of the proceeds after expenses and taxes and whatnot, and to the victims' families of 9/11.
Now, somebody on Facebook was saying that he was also really more of like a neo-Nazi or something. Is that correct? I couldn't find any.
Well, look, he's accused my friend Chris of being a neo-Nazi, and that could be further from the truth. He like I said, he's a flip-flopper. First, he's a Christian that believes in Jesus. Then he's a Jew that hates Jesus. Then he's a liberal. Then he's a conservative. Then it's whatever will get him listeners. When people realize he's a scumbag, he switches it up so that way he can get new people to either send them money and do stuff for him. He really is. I don't want to call him a chameleon, because being a chameleon means he's clever. No, he's just a schizophrenic asshole. That he's an opportunist. And right. I mean, I've already put it, like I said, I put it out there. I want to fight him. I want to fight him hand to hand. But of course, he's like, oh, well, you know, you're gonna have to come to my house so I can shoot you. Okay. Well. Oh, so you need to hide behind guns when I'm challenging you as a man, hand-to-hand combat, which is, in my opinion, honorable. Then, I have a gun and you're unarmed, so I'm going to shoot you, and that's going to be self-defense. This is see, it's not really an internet feud until somebody is lying on the floor in a pool of blood. Yeah, I mean he's scared of me. I know he's scared of me, and he knows I could beat him. Because like the anger that he's put me through, the level of pissed offness that if I ever see him, it's like you know that old joke. You know, you get a first notice from a company, and a second notice from the bill, and a third notice, and then you get a "don't let me catch your ass on the street" notice. Jim is on the "don't let me catch him on the street" notice. Wow. And and for the record, if anybody's ever seen my videos, I am not opposed to me running up on people and getting up in their face. I mean, it still amazes me that people think I'm a punk. I mean, I've chased people out of my grandmother's house for trying to scam her, and the dude I chased out was an Israeli. I can tell because I know a lot of Israelis. Right. Not because I'm a Zionist, because New York City is an international melting pot, and you know what? I meet a lot of cool people, and I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck who they are. Right. Well, that's interesting. But this guy, he's not in New York. This Stachowiak guy. No, he's in Martinez, Georgia. Yeah. Yeah, so he's in Columbia County. He lives in a house that his mother bought for him. He's a real scumbag. I mean, how he gets people to listen to him, and I just love how he tries to get other people involved in our beef. Right. Like he'll have somebody call me and say, "You're threatening the Georgia State." I'm like, oh, you're his new flavor of the month. You're his new friend. Yeah, give it about a month. He'll be starting shit with you in no time.
And all of this, all you want to do is get the truth out about 9/11. It's horrible.
Well, look, at this point, no one gives a shit about 9/11. I like outside the truth movement, no one cares, and that's
right.
The shit that pisses me off. I've gotten to the point where I'm done trying to convince people that their government is trying to kill them. I'm at the point where I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna worry about me and mine, and that's it. If people wake up in time, good. If they don't, well, when the shit settles down and everything's all said and done, and we're standing up on top, there are more resources for us.
Yeah, and you would think, like after 10 years, it's just like, well, okay, well, actually, because a lot of the stuff that happened 10 years ago, or even the whole thing leading up to 9/11, it's still repeating itself right now with all of the push to Syria and Iran and all of this. So it does, these things are repeating itself. So it is important to at least to notice the patterns as they're developing.
But especially in my neighborhood, I live in a very liberal-ass, freaking hipster-infested, gentrified neighborhood now. Mm-hmm. And Obama's doing a good job. I voted for Obama because I'm a progressive. I'm proving that I'm not a racist, so I voted for the same dumbass that's fucking up this country twice. I mean, and you know what? I wanted Ron Paul. I was a Paul's hard.
Right.
But because he's the one that was close to what I believed in, made the most sense to me. And as soon as I saw how, even though he was being praised by the media. I mean, on SNL, they showed him taking out people trying to kill him. I mean, they couldn't really make fun of Ron Paul.
Right, I remember that bit. Yeah.
Like all of them, they're making the fool out of every one of the candidates. Ron Paul's the only one that's like, damn, this old dude just killed two people trying to kill him. Right. I mean, the punchline was, goddamn, Ron Paul is a badass.
Right. But now what was the other thing? Oh, yeah, the other thing was, all right, you put up on one of your Facebook postings or your description that you work for TalkShoe.
Well, I just put that up. I don't work for TalkShoe. I just put that up, because I did shows on TalkShoe. So I said, fuck it, let me put it up there. But I'm not in no way, shape, or form paid by TalkShoe. I just do shows on TalkShoe, so I've just put that I work for TalkShoe.
You're not like a volunteer monitor for TalkShoe either. No, because because fucking Jim has had my show blocked more than once. Oh.
Yeah, I had to delete content which had nothing to do with him, because I like to do live prank call shows, for comedy reasons, and fucking Jim has ratted me out. Jim Jim actually, when Christy used to do her shows on TalkShoe, was friends with a moderator who got caught doing this and was fired by TalkShoe, shutting down her feed. She would have technical difficulties because someone at TalkShoe would shut down her feed under Jim's orders.
Oh, really? Oh, so this guy's got some connections with TalkShoe.
This guy, well, look, I don't know. But they fired that guy. But the same bullshit happened to me. That's why I moved to another network, and that's and that's why when I restart my new show, the Louie B show, because I'm no longer going to Crotch Out Radio, because I feel like I've grown as a broadcaster. I've grown as a person when I started the show 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. So I'm going by the Louie B show, and I'm just gonna focus on comedy. I'm gonna do comedy bits. I'll talk about the news, but you know what? I'm done playing this political game, because nothing works.
Yeah, okay.
Nothing works. I'm done trying to fucking save the world. The world does not want to be saved.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and there's a lot to be said about that statement right there, and it's just. Listen. It is kind of crazy to say the least. But some people are asking in the chat room, what new network are you going to be on?
Oh, Spreaker.
Okay, Spreaker.
Spreaker. I've already got. I was doing shows on Spreaker. Posting them up on Spreaker. For a while now. I'm on hiatus now because I got sick. So right now I'm healing. I'm dropping weight, getting myself in shape. I'm going back. I went back to mixed martial arts. I'm doing the kettlebells. Yeah. I've already dropped. I was 250 like 3 months ago. I'm down to 226.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm kind of proud of myself. I went from a 48 waist to now I need a 42 waist because I recently got a 44 waist and now it's falling off my ass. And I'm not that type of hip hopper that shows my underwear and my ass out in fucking in front of God and country.
Right. So and the kettlebells, they work because I always see that and I don't know if this.
Well, it's because you're doing a full body workout and you don't have to, like, a 45-minute workout, like 3 times a week. I'm doing it every day because I'm doing combat kettlebells, which is a DVD series. So you work out, you're breaking a sweat, I'm getting nice and ripped, and of course I already started doing P90X. So I'm hoping in 3 months I'll be battle ready.
Right. Yeah, I remember the P90X that became popular after Paul Ryan got nominated and for the vice president there. So that looks like a very interesting thing. But then you have to buy all this stuff, and I was like, well, why can't I just get the video or something,
Well, you need equipment to play sports. Why not equipment to work out? That's true. Bodyweight exercises can only get you so much results.
Right.
I wanna increase my strength, and the only way to do that is to use the kettlebell.
Right. It looks like I do have somebody here on the phone who wants to talk to you.
Okay.
P. Dembski wants to have you on here. Wants to come on here, so I'm going to bring him on here.
I know. He's the one that told me to come. He's the one that told me that you wanted me to come on.
Yeah. Okay. Welcome aboard, P. Dembski.
Hi, news guy. Hi, Louie B. It's nice to hear you on the show. I'm glad you took up my invitation. In my role, I guess, as assistant or associate producer of the News Guys show, although he doesn't ever give me credit. He covered most of the questions I had for you.
Go ahead. I'm in
a fellow Brooklynite, so my first question is kind of personal. What part of Brooklyn are you from?
Willie B.
Willie B, so you were there before the hipsters rolled in? Like you grew up there?
Yeah.
And so do you feel safer living there now, or do you wish the hipsters went bye-bye?
I wouldn't say went bye-bye because, there was certain Brooklyn energy that I grew up with, and when they bring that whole Soho crap over here, that whole pretentiousness, that kind of fucking annoys me. Because now you're mixing energies that I don't appreciate. It's like Manhattan's Manhattan. Brooklyn has its own swagger.
Mm-hmm. Right, and they brought that Manhattan attitude or the Manhattan feel over across to Williamsburg when they started gentrifying it.
Yeah, there's no such a family here anymore. Everything is there's no respect.
Right, it's like
there's no
word
respect
I'm thinking
whatsoever.
of? Not vagrants, but it's like people just come and go. Like you said, there's no sense of family. It's just
carpetbaggers.
Yeah.
Hey,
so
Louie,
Hey, Louie, I wanted to ask you, because it just popped in my head, with Crown Heights, because I remember like 20 years ago when all of the...
Into the twilight, I think it's... Okay, sorry. I love me some Masis Yahoo.
Okay. When the Crown Heights riots happened, and I remember going down there, and Eastern Parkway was basically the Mason-Dixon line between the two neighborhoods. On one side, you had all of these like really nice tree-lined, quiet streets, and that's where all the Hasidic Jews lived. And then right across Eastern Parkway, rather, on the other side, it was all like, your real stereotypical crack den, ghetto slum, and that's where all the blacks lived. Is it still like that today, or has all of like where the black people live?
It's starting to gentrify there too.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, look, again, I'm not trying to sound racist, but when it comes to black neighborhoods, it just shows that they don't respect where they live. They don't respect their own place, and that's why their neighborhoods are fucked up, because they think it's funny to break other people's shit. And that's a ghetto mentality that I've seen with other Hispanics too, that hang out in these ghetto neighborhoods. They think it's funny to not have pride in where you... I mean, these people would fight if you would talk shit about Bed-Stuy, about East New York. If somebody said, "Oh, well, East New York is full of pussies," they'll fight you. But they don't show that pride by keeping their streets clean. I mean, I sweep outside my house because I have fucking pride where I live in.
Right.
I love New York City. I love Brooklyn. I've been here all my life. It's a whole energy. It's a certain swagger that I have. It's part of who I am. It's part of why I could, run up on people and say, "Fuck you." Like my first words weren't "Mom, Dad." It was like, "Get that fucking shit out my face."
Well, yeah, that's actually a very good point you bring up, because when I first moved out of New York, and I was in other places, and people started giving me attitude, and I gave the attitude right back to them, and I point out straight said to them, "Hey, fuck you," and then they got upset, because that's the way that they were, just like very passively aggressively or very subtly, like doing this, like in New York, you're in your face, people are in your face, when people are messing with you, and so you can just say, "Hey, fuck you," back off, And,
right, you're getting a subtle fuck you from people outside of New York, but you're getting a fuck you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I still feel that fuck you vibe, even though they're not being as aggressive as they would, or in your face as they would in New York. So I'm still coming off like, and then I'm literally saying, "Hey, fuck you," and then they get all like, "Oh, how dare you say that to me? I didn't do anything." I was like, "Hey, listen," and then I have to read them the riot act and put them in their place. And then they don't like that stuff,
Yeah, I mean, the warning shot is like, look, you have to understand, I'm from New York City. It's either I say fuck you, or I keep my mouth shut and pop you in the fucking nose. Which one would you rather have?
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, you're old school, it sounds like, because we would settle things with fists. I'm not an old man, but I'm in my 40s, and we would still settle things with our fists. You're talking about going after this guy with your fists. These kids pull out guns these days, I know it sounds stereotypical, but it's true. So you can't come at these guys with your fists when you're going against a gun,
Yeah, well, that's why I trained in a martial art that teaches gun and knife disarming. But that's neither here or there again. But it's like where I come from, my dad, my dad was in my life. He's like, only pussies run with gangs. Only pussies use weapons. They're pussies. So if you can't face a guy with your hands, you better keep your fucking mouth shut.
Right, you know that, and I know that. But these street kids that don't have a dad in their life, or were raised by their grandmother, they don't know that. They don't live by those rules. You know what I'm saying? So it is a little dangerous, especially in Brooklyn, to get in that situation.
And by the way, I just heard the Brooklyn accent come out of you. Kudos, my friend. Kudos.
I'm legitimately Brooklyn.
He's like your grandmother. That's CRANDMOTHA.
Yeah, and I always get caught on saying her. They say I say her. So
you're going after her. Yeah, forget about it. Get the fuck out of here.
But yeah, and I had negative experiences living there, fighting people off. And I've been through this on this show so many times. I don't want to get into it, but I grew up in Starrett City. I'm pretty sure you're probably familiar with it. And they tried to make a bicultural, multicultural rainbow out of this place, and it doesn't work. It didn't work. There are reason there are neighborhoods that are inhabited by certain people, and you can't mess with that feel. You can't mess with that balance. And to me, it was just a social experiment gone totally haywire. So anyway, that's where I'm from.
To make some of these Christian identity guys happy, I'm not a fan of the Hasidics that I live by. So when it comes to Jewish,
they're very arrogant and take just as much social welfare as any, allegedly, minority group, let's say.
Yeah. So that
and I guess you see that firsthand still living in Williamsburg because they still have their, still have their piece of Willie B, as you say, or whatever you said, Billy Berg, whatever.
Yeah.
Now, have they lost land? Like, they hang on to their areas, like iron. So they still have their specific part of Williamsburg, and that is not invaded by kids from Idaho with goatees, right?
Oh, they'll rent to them. They won't rent to Latinos, but they built a fucking luxury high-rise apartment by the river only for them.
Huh.
Only for them.
Right. And what I have seen prices of apartments in New York and even in Brooklyn, and like people are renting out now in Brooklyn, especially, like the one room in a basement where it's like the ceiling is so low that you have to, basically walk on your knees, and that's for like $500 a month. And I'm thinking to myself,
it's more than that.
What? No,
more than that, news guy.
More.
Yeah. And I'm thinking to myself, like, wow, it's like Shlomo must be rubbing his hands orgasmically while he's thinking of all the employees that he's...
Well, you mentioned Crown Heights before, and my nephew, he moved out to Chicago, but before he left, he was living right near Crown Heights, around the Franklin Street shuttle. I'm not... You know New York, Louie, so you know where I'm talking about, Yeah. And he was living near the Franklin Avenue shuttle, I think something like Park Place or something, right on the edge of the Hasidic/black part of Crown Heights. And he was living in a place that 20 years ago was probably a full, every floor was a crack house. And they were paying like $2,000 for a two-bedroom apartment in this place right by the Franklin Street shuttle, last stop there. So when he told me that, I just couldn't believe it. I was like, that used to be crack neighborhood. And he's like, no, it's changed. We got like, they didn't have Starbucks yet, but they had like an independent coffee shop, which is even hipper, And I was like, back when I was growing up, that was a no-go area unless you were on crack or looking for a bag of weed or something like that. And so that whole...
The drugs are still in the neighborhood. The funny thing is, these sisters, they come up to me. They go, yo, Poppy, do you have any manteca? Do you have any... Do you know
manteca, lard?
Yeah, manteca is lard, but they're looking for some blow.
Oh, I never heard it called that. I guess I'm out of the loop. So, okay, I want to hear the story. So they think just because you're Puerto Rican, you're holding some blow or nowhere to get some?
Or blow or weed. Yeah. Which, I have nothing against weed, but God damn it, stop treating me like I'm the fucking street pharmacist.
Hey, Louie B, let me ask you something about, because I always hear this about this stop and frisk policy with the NYPD, and have you experienced that
Nope.
No, you've never experienced that.
No, never. I've never been stopped.
And have you ever known anybody? Do you know of anybody who is constantly? No. Okay. Because the way that some people portray it, I mean, it's like every black person in New York is getting stopped over every night that they step out of their house. You know, it's very interesting.
I'm not saying there's no such thing as police abuses of their power. I'm just saying. I'm saying I don't know anyone that's gone through it. I've personally never gone through it. If it's happening, it's obviously fucked up. It shouldn't be happening. I'm not for random searches and seizures. Show me your papers, Negro. You know, come on.
If it did happen to you, Louie, would you just comply with them and go about your business once you were done and, come up clean? Or, would you, protesting's not going to get you anywhere, but would you follow up with a letter to the precinct or
I would call the community board. Because I know if I would, what these guys like to do, the moment you start protesting, they get nervous, even though they should be trained not to be nervous, and I'm just going to end up a fucking statistic, and they'll just...
Oh, yeah, once you're in their world, you comply, or you get hit in the head with a nightstick. Once you're in their world, you're there. You're there.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not a superhero officer. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Jake.
Okay.
I mean, look, I'm not a cop. I'm not a cop. I don't have a gun on me. I mean, fuck, I got a family I need to go home to that wants to see me alive, taking stupid risks. I mean, look, I'm not, the cops don't fight fair. The cops will be like, the moment you put up a fight, oh, we need backup. This nigger is fucking acting out, and here it is. Half the precinct comes to whoop my ass.
Right.
And then it's he was resisting arrest. He's a terrorist. All this lovely stuff.
So the quick answer to the question is, if you did get stop and frisk, you just go along for the ride, and then you handle whatever paperwork needs to be done by you after the fact.
Yeah, I mean, look, the same applies when if you're being held up. You got a gun, you try to work with the guy.
Yeah, you do. You're in his world, just like I said. You're in the NYPD's world when they want to stop and frisk you, or pull you over for, driving offense. You sir them to death, and you still get your ticket, but you don't get anything other than that,
But then again, I don't walk around looking suspicious.
Right, I kind of got the idea you're not wearing a bandana or having a bandana hang out of your back pocket or, wearing jeans or, not wearing jeans, but you know what I'm saying. You're not running around looking like a gang member.
But also maybe the neighborhood that you live in, Louie, is one neighborhood that is not so targeted by the NYPD. Because I've been in rough neighborhoods before. Nothing. Okay. They don't even pay attention to me. The gangsters don't pay attention to me most of the time. Okay.
I mean, I could walk in any city. I'm pretty sure if I was to go to fucking Fallujah, not only will the insurgents have a beer with me, they'll be like, hey, it's Louie. Hey, what's up?
Wow, that's interesting. So so that's a pretty interesting thing because, like I said, some people when you speak to them about this, or you see some things in the media or on the internet, on some websites, you would think that this was just a much larger and more severe thing than it actually is. So.
Yeah, I have to agree. Just reading media and not being there, you would think you'd just see, groups of people lined up against the wall constantly everywhere you went, and most of them would be black.
Right.
Yeah, but the thing is, not to sound racist, but since frankly, no white person has ever called me a spick outside of Christian identity. Thank you, faggot. I mean, the only people that have really been racist towards me are black people, and the only people that have ever, like, not even, well, I wouldn't say robbed me, but freaking went through my bag when I was not looking, all punk ass shitness, and stole from me, are black people.
Yeah.
I mean, but then again,
I
on
think
the other
Puerto
side
Ricans
of the coin,
have been totally adopted into the culture. I think you're right. Most white people have accepted the fact that Puerto Ricans don't need a green card, are hardworking. I mean, I mentioned in my message to you, my brother-in-law is Puerto Rican, and my sister's a Jewish girl. I have to say, I have gotten into arguments with them where I have used the S word, but I love the guy, and he's part of my family. I think Puerto Ricans have assimilated much better into society, at least in New York society, than black people have. I mean,
okay,
let's call a spade a spade.
Yeah. I mean, if I could put this in these terms, if you really want to see who's getting welfare, white people are number one, black people number two, and Hispanics as a whole, that means every country, is number three. Because look, as much as you and I'm not a big fan of Mexicans, but that's because a lot of them are a bunch of scumbags. They're like the niggas of the Latin world, because they're just as ignorant. And
they'll also work for pennies, so they're hurting people who want to work and make real money for a real job.
Yeah, but the point I'm trying to make is at least they work. Mm-hmm. At least they'll put in the time. Hispanics will bust. Like, if we get a fucking chance, any chance that the man will give us, we're gonna fucking take that shit if it means having a better life and not having to rely on the man for a fucking check.
Right, yeah.
Well, as a Puerto Rican, do you feel in the Hispanic ladder of respect or whatever, do you feel as a Puerto Rican that you get more breaks than a Dominican gets more breaks than a Mexican, and Mexican basically is the bottom of the ladder? Or, if you ever did think about it in that fashion?
Not so much breaks. The way we look at it is, okay, who's the bigger asshole, Mexicans or Dominicans? Who do we culturally not mess with because in their culture, because I've heard it said that Dominicans are the dumb Polacks.
Because a lot of them, at least the ones from the Dominican Republic, a lot of them come from the country. I think that has a lot to do with it.
Yeah, we call that the campo.
Yeah.
Do they still call them plátanos? Or are you guys plátanos?
No, they call us Goya beans.
Goya beans, okay, so they're plátanos.
They're plátanos, yeah.
Okay, got it. I've been out of the city a while, like I said, so I get my slurs mixed up a little.
Boy. Hey, guys, this has been very good, and I really want to thank you very much for coming on, Louie B, and sorting out all of those issues with this other guy.
Can I just ask him one more question quickly, News Guy?
Sure.
Yep.
I did listen to one of your Spreaker shows, and you had a friend, I guess, of yours who was a gay man, and automatically you would think that this gay man would be voting for Christine Quinn, and he wasn't, and good for him, because I wouldn't vote for her if I still lived down there. But at this time, Wiener hadn't entered the race. I'm wondering, you don't know his opinion at this time, but which way are you looking in the mayoral race? I didn't get the opinion you were I didn't get the I wasn't of the opinion you were a Christine Quinn fan.
No.
I don't know. Go ahead. You know the question I'm asking. You can answer. You could run with it.
Fuck Christine Quinn. And fuck Wiener too. I don't trust any of them.
Okay.
I'm pissed off with the Manhattan Libertarian Party, because the one person that's running for a Libertarian is Christine something, who was a former madam.
Oh.
And yeah, I mean, you know, prostitution should be legal. We all know that. Blah 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 blah. But you know, she's still a criminal, and the public as a whole are not going to take her seriously. Look at how they looked at Ron Paul, and the man's a fucking doctor, and he even back in the day when, you know, most doctors wouldn't help a interracial couple, he did.
He did, right? And yet,
yet they still shitted on him.
Right, exactly.
Right, but yet he's considered a loon or a nut job.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. He did go around and help interracial children be born into the world, and yet they still called him a racist and everything. So
yeah, and for the record, my personal opinion is when it comes to mixed race, I think it will lead to the next level of our evolution as a human species.
Okay.
Pretty soon, there's not going to be no such thing as... Well, race is an illusion to begin with, and I think I mentioned that before. There's really no such thing as race. Yeah, there's different colors of people, but it's not like we're different species of humans. I mean, if a black person could make a baby with a white person could make a baby with a Hispanic person, Chinese person, whatever. I mean, it's not like an orangutan fucks a chimpanzee and they make a chimpangarang. No, that doesn't happen.
But the other thing about this libertarian, like this libertarian who's running for mayor in New York, this is basically the same type of libertarian that candidates or people who traditionally speak up as libertarians, who always have given the idea of being a libertarian a bad name. You know, it's always these kind of like loopy, really just completely bonkers concepts, like, you know, which are really actually far left, or, you know, something even more bizarre than far left type of ideologies. And meanwhile,
like Lenora Fulani.
Yeah, exactly, like Lenora Fulani. And, you know, so these types of ideologies get mixed up into libertarianism, whereas, you know, libertarianism should be just like, you know, really common sense kind of stuff. Like, all right, listen, I don't respect. No, it's not that I don't respect, or that I don't agree with. I don't think that gays, you know, whatever I think about gays. But that's, if you want to do that, that's your position. You can do that, you know, and you can live your life as you want. And that's, you know,
like, look, I don't care. That's why I have all different types of people on my show. He's gay. Right. I don't give a fuck. I don't. I mean, you know, I like the fact that he's not following the company line and voting for Christine Quinn because she happens to be homosexual. I mean,
and actually, you know, because I hear that interview that you gave with that guy, and there were quite a few things that I agreed with that guy. I do believe that Christine Quinn, and I felt this before, that she is just like using this liberal facade as a gimmick, and really all she's going to do is continue the same thing that Bloomberg did, and I you know, dare I say it, even maybe to the extent that Giuliani did, you know, where it's just over, you know, doing the bidding of the corporate elitists in New York, and continuing to edge out the middle class, what little is left of the middle class in New York.
Yeah, it fucking sickened me, because the other day she was at a rally because some a transgender person, I forgot what sex that they transitioned to, so please forgive me. She was at a rally, and she was just, I mean, she was there for the fucking photo op, like, oh, you know, hate crimes must stop. Oh, how's about people killing people must stop? Because, you know, I mean, like, look, I mean, why, like, who gives a fuck if some dude or some chick wants to, you know, change who she is, she or he is, into a she or a he? Who gives a fuck? It doesn't take no skin off my nose, as long as it doesn't take money out my wallet, as long as I don't have to, tax dollars don't come out of my fucking pay to pay for someone else's fucking sex change, someone else's choices, then I'm okay with it. I'm not going to go around saying, oh, look at them faggots, let's go fuck them up. No, you know, God bless them.
Exactly.
You know, when they finally got the shit, here comes the train. When they were finally able to get married in New York, I said, thank God, now they can stop the fucking bitching. Because...
and they can be as miserable as, a heterosexual married couple.
Oh, dude, am I the only one that would watch the shit out of gay divorce court?
Imagine some, like, aging twink and her and his boy toy or his daddy. You know, having.
The Pomeranian is mine. Mr. Fluffy Tail is staying with me. I want custody of my Yorkies. No, I want the Yorkies. Oh, dude, especially in New York, there's no fault divorce. Imagine if it's a lesbian couple. Who pays fucking alimony to who? Holy shit! It's a great day. It's a great time in New York. It's a great time in New York. I can't wait. I can't wait.
I have my last question, and then I'm going to hang up and listen. So are you swinging towards Joseph Loda for mayor?
Look, right now, I don't trust anyone that the media is feeding me. Loda, I don't know. The fact that he ran the MTA is suspect to me, because the MTA, I actually did some research on this. The MTA is held as accountable as the Federal Reserve. They are.
Yeah, but this guy also did get things running really quickly after that Sandy storm you guys had.
Yeah.
So that's, I think, one in his favor.
Yeah.
But you know, before the storm, I mean, there were a lot of times that service is shitty. When the fare hikes, I don't know if he was behind this. I think this was before his time, that the MTA was caught with two financial records. One showing that with the fact that they had a surplus of money, that they didn't have to raise the fare to $1.50. You know, it's the fact that they make $9 billion a year. The fact that they get taxed, and that's on top. I mean, that's including the tax money that they take out of my check. I mean, New Yorkers pay for the subways twice, and then they still raise it.
Got a point.
I mean, and look, you know, the union. I mean, my friend. I have a friend who's a conductor on the train. They take half his pay in taxes, which is why these guys are hurting. I mean, that's union dues and that's taxes that poof, gone.
Right, so, and even though those guys do make a good dollar, you take half of that. It's not so good anymore.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these guys, they start off getting paid $17 an hour, which is fantastic. I mean, not great, but you know, you could get by.
Oh, I thought it was like double that, to be honest with you, with the New York prices. But 13.
Yeah, no.
Rough.
17, and then they you know, they, like, not to mention the overtime that they make them
That's
put
where you
in.
make your money.
I mean, and a lot of times my friend isn't even working. He's sitting in a fucking room for like 12 hours in case they need him.
Wow.
So he's getting paid.
Sounds like Johnny Lightning. I don't know if you know him.
Yeah, I mean, so a lot of the times these MTA guys, they're sitting in a room in Coney Island or in the Bronx.
Right.
You know, just on the internet, you know, watching Netflix, getting paid.
Well,
so it sounds to me like you are going to have a new mayor come January 1st or whenever they sign him in, but you're either stepping back from voting or have not chosen anyone who even remotely represents anything you stand for. Exactly.
Okay. I might just write myself in as the fuck you vote. I mean, that's what
well, at least you're participating that way, which, you know, I definitely, you know, I would rather someone participated than just did a no-show, you know. So if you're going to write yourself in, good. If I know anyone else who lives in New York who's voting, I'll tell them to write you in too. Louie B.
Louie Rutherford B. Louie goddamn B.
Okay,
I don't. You know what? I'd rather listen to these frogs that are creaking back here all night than listen to those sirens, man. I'll tell you that. But thanks for calling in. I'm gonna let News Guy finish your show. But thanks for the accept on the Facebook friend thing. Thanks for the interview because we were interested in hearing some stuff. And you sound like a nice guy. It was nice talking to you, and good luck with the weight loss.
All right. Thanks a lot there, P. Dembski.
Okay. Good night.
Bye. All right. And sorry about that, Louie B. You were so loud with the sirens and everything. I had to put you on.
Yeah, that was the Brooklyn national anthem. You guys got to show some respect.
Yeah. All right. So, hey, all right, I'm going to let you go. But, again, thank you very much, and I hope you heard what P. Dembski was saying. And,
you're welcome. You're welcome. And God bless. And Christian identity, suck my dick, please. Thank you.
All right. Louie B.
Asshole.
Bye-bye.